everyone, welcome to this yoga class, especially for beginners. I'm glad you found this video here because it must be exactly what you are needing. And if you have been called to yoga, then this is exactly the place you need to be. If you're new here, my name's Carol Pax. I have lots of fitness and wellness advice over here on my blog, my channel, and on my website. So please feel free to check that out. And today we're going to come straight to it on our mats. All you need is something comfortable to sit in, preferably a mat if you've got one, and maybe some water. Sometimes it can be really daunting if we've never done yoga before, and we can kind of be put off by all these aesthetically pleasing videos and pictures that we might be seeing now online. So it's just good to know that yoga is for everybody and anybody. You don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to be mega flexible. Actually, it's about alignment and coming inwards, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So we're going to start with a seated cross-legged position, Sukhasana, and we're going to ground down with our sit bones. We want to lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck, and we're just going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and then exhale and just let it all go. So with yoga, we originally designed yoga, or yoga was originally So the movement in yoga is actually designed so that we can sit still in meditation and practice. How about that? So we move the body to enable it to have stillness without pain and discomfort, which is one of the main reasons that I got into yoga, as well as the spiritual aspect and for my mind. I really wanted to heal my body from pain and just to be able to move and to feel comfortable and free. And I got a whole lot more from it. So I'm hoping that you get much more from this video as well. So as soon as we have connected with our breath, we want to release tension from the body and we want to come inwards. So when I talk about alignment, I mean alignment with the physical body and alignment within our self, within our mind. When we align with ourselves, we just want to think about where we are right now in this present moment and why we've been called to practice this video. It's for a reason, so tune into that and know that you're absolutely in the place where you're meant to be. During this practice, it's going to be very gentle, and that is what yoga is. It isn't about trying to pull off the latest move or craze. It's actually about being kind to yourself, focusing on your breathing, and always being present. So never feeling like your ego's taking control or your monkey mindset, your mind is very busy or taking over. So in this practice today, so we're going to take a couple of deep breaths. So we're just going to focus on our breath. So when we focus on our breath, it's just a point in any time of the day that you can take to come back to who you are, where you are, to de-stress, to activate that parasympathetic nervous system. So when we take a deep breath in, feel the belly rise, feel that expand the space. So when we come back to So it always comes back to the breath and our alignment, aligning with who we are, where we are, why we're here. We've been called to do yoga for a reason. And also we align in our physical body. So right now we want those sit bones to be grounded down into the mat, the spine nice and long, the shoulders soft, and that space there between the chest nice and open. And we just want to invite anything in that might come our way during the practice. We don't want to be restrictive or put blocks of how we think it is or how it should be, just completely open to the new experience. So we'll take a deep breath in and we'll stretch those arms all the way up. Stretch and release all the way back down. Bring the hands to the mat, we feel grounded. Notice those sit bones and then look slowly from left to right. Release the head round all the way to the left and to the right. to center and roll the shoulders back. And then we'll roll the shoulders forwards. And then as we breathe in, we take the arms up and bring the hands together and just drop them between the shoulder blades. And as you do that, feel that space open through the chest. And release. So in yoga, we do a lot of heart opening exercises. And that means we connect with our heart chakra, our anahata, which is just located around where the heart will be. And I cover this in other videos, so be sure to check those out on the chakras. But for now, just think of it as that energy center around the heart, and it's open, it's ready to receive, and that is how we practice kindness to ourselves as well. And release. We're just going to stretch out now, so we're going to take that left leg out, keeping aligned in the mind and in the body. Bring those sit bones down into the mat. We're going to take a little rock forwards and back. And what we do when we stop to do these movements is we recognize exactly where we are and where we need to be. Sometimes it's the hardest thing is to actually stop and notice, but one of the most beneficial things. Let's bring the elbow in, and we'll take a big stretch up, release through the side body. This is great for releasing tension out of the lower back, which can be created by stress as well as physical movement. And slowly bring it back in. Let's just bring this foot across into a half lotus, and we just want to place it onto the inner thigh. If the knee's up here, that's absolutely fine. Just hold it here. Just be mindful of your joints. And also what we want to do in yoga is to release all the blockages, all the tension through the body, and that can be done by physical massage, like Thai massage is a great way to do that, but daily we can do it ourselves with these stretches. And I definitely recommend looking into many different things if you're looking at stress release, tension in the body. But yoga, and just really gentle yoga, will have so many benefits for you if you can do it even a few times a week. It'll just become a way of life, and it's difficult when you begin, but believe me, it gets easier, and you get addicted because you feel how much your body and your mind needs it. Okay, let's release and just take a little stretch out with that foot, and then we'll change sides. So just bringing those sit bones down, lengthening the spine, releasing that elbow. And when we notice our alignment, we feel more centered in the mind and the body as well. Are those sit bones still touching down on the mat? And then lift, extend, breathe. Breathe in the space in the body. Sometimes tightness in the body reflects tightness in the mind. So quite rigid, inflexible thoughts and just not open to change. And this is why yoga is so important for all sorts of reasons. Breathe and release. There we go. Bring this foot across. Half lotus. Just between that hip crease. Drop that knee down. Again, any knee problems, you might want to keep the knee a little higher. If not, just allow it to release down and feel that stretch through the tops of the feet, the metatarsals. Quite often it's common to have split metatarsals here on the top of the feet, which can create cramps, but can also create all sorts of problems that run through and up the body because it's all connected. So just be mindful of that, and slowly daily action, consistency can definitely have huge effects on your overall well-being. Okay, let's slowly release that down, and we're just going to bring the hands into the heart center. Just feel the energy coming from the bottom of the spine, and think of it as spinning discs running all the way up to the crown chakra, to the top of your head. And just feel that connecting to the universe. So that energy within us in the physical being actually radiates out past the physical body. And this is where the two connect with everything surrounding us. In through the nose, out through the nose, fullness of the breath. Feeling calm, feeling aligned and centered. Let's slowly come onto our knees now, and we'll take it back into a child's pose. So we just want to sit down onto the heels, lengthen through the upper body, stretch the arms and lower the chest down. We want to get as low as we can with those hips, so we want to avoid being too high up. But equally, we want to be mindful of the body. So we could maybe put a cushion here or even under the knees. Just be kind to yourself always. Slowly come up to all fours, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to breathe in and open up through the chest. Breathe out, draw the navel in, release the head down. Breathe in and open. Breathe out, release down. Breathe in and breathe out. So as though you're lifting your head out of the water and taking a deep breath in, breathe in that oxygen, fill the lungs, fill the belly. Breathe out. And think of the body as water. When we connect with that element of water, we have that freedom and fluidity in the body and in the mind, which is what we want to encourage. That intuitive moving, notice what you need and slowly move into it. We're going to take a downward facing dog now. So if you've never done this move before, I'm going to explain it. You just took the toes underneath. Now we push the hips up. The hands stay exactly where they are. We lengthen the spine and we press the heels down into the mat. Push away, lengthen the spine. And then we can paddle through the legs to get more flexible. Bend the knees, release down, and we'll take a puppy pose. So the arms go out to the side, and we lower the chest onto the mat. Now in this puppy pose, try to get your chin touching the mat. You may want to put a block there or a cushion if it doesn't reach. And then feel that space in the upper body. Slowly come back up. It's all about creating space and the body just getting used to exactly what it's capable of and how it's meant to feel. So initially it might feel unusual or your body might feel quite tight, but you will notice how much better you feel within a matter of weeks. So we're going to do puppy pose one more time. I want you to notice how it feels in the upper body. And then when we go to downward dog, we recreate that same position with the upper body in downward facing dog. So we lift up, took the toes underneath, push away, feel that same feeling in the upper body. So lengthen the spine, soften the shoulders, press the heels down. We can paddle here too. And then let's bend the knees and we're going to bring the right foot forwards. So make sure the knee is in line with the heel or the ankle. We don't want that knee pushing forwards because we're going to put a lot of pressure on our ankle. And we want to focus on our psoas muscle, which is this back muscle here. When we do the other side, I'll show you properly. The top of your hip and your thigh into your lower back, this thick muscle. is quite often the culprit for a lot of lower back and hip problems if not stretched a lot, which I discovered, which is why I'm such a fan of these specific movements in yoga, because you can treat a lot of problems without having to have surgery, medication, and obviously everybody's different, but I know personally I managed to do that myself just from gentle movement each day, meditation, breathing, letting go of tightness in the body and allowing myself to go through it. It takes time, but it's something that's well worth committing to. So we'll take a push back now for a half split. We want to flex that front foot, lift the heels, relax the shoulders, and instead of bringing the head to the knee, which you see a lot, you want to bring the head towards the toes. Okay, so we think of lengthening the spine, bringing the belly button towards the thighs, softening the shoulders, and just breathe. Feel any tightness in the hamstring, completely normal. You could even just give the leg a little squeeze this way to help to release that. Even in the foot, it's always good to just really give the body what it needs so it's able to work with you. Become your body's best friend. When you think of it like that, you'll really consider your movement and your nutrition and everything, because you want to treat it really well. Okay, let's slowly lunge it out, back to all fours. I'm going to change sides. So get this knee in line with the ankle, drop the hips down, and you could get a little bit lower. If you've got any problems with the knees, put a cushion underneath. I speak from being an ex-dancer, having lots of problems with the knees and hips, and because of that, and sometimes through old injuries, I use a lot of props to help me and guide me through it, which is what I'm talking about. Don't avoid yoga because some of the postures are painful or uncomfortable. Make them work for you. So this is the psoas muscle here. You want to feel that, so if you can't, take that knee further back and drop a little bit lower. You could tuck those toes under there if you wish, as well, this way. Keep focusing on the breath, make sure you haven't tensed up anywhere in the body. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And we can bring the hands back down. Slowly push back, send those hips high, flex that front foot, soften the shoulders. Lengthen the spine, breathe the head towards the toes. Take the time to allow the body to adapt. It doesn't happen straight away. You've got to be intentional, you've got to be aligned. Breathe. Just keep feeling those shifts of movement, of energy. And then very slowly we will release out of that. Bring it back in, and let's come back to our child's pose, but this time I'm going to open the knees into tadpole, just to allow some space in the hips. The toes stay touching together, and let's release the chest down to the mat. Okay, let's slowly come up, and we're going to come into toe pose, which is a very underestimated posture. Now, if you're like me, or you've had a career in dance, or you teach a lot, you'll be used to just being in bare feet a lot. But if not, and you do a regular job and you wear shoes all of the time, it's not that often that you allow the feet to really stretch. So doing this daily, I would suggest, is going to be so beneficial. So if you can see, you took the toes underneath and sit back. So if you're feeling tightness there, there's even more reason to do this daily. Even if it's just for like say 10-20 seconds is all you can manage. Feel the lengthening of the spine and the neck. Always connect with the breath, stay present. Notice the rest of the body and start to relax there as well. And then we'll change, so we'll bring the tops of the feet down, just sit onto the heels. And then slowly come back to centre. We're going to take this left leg forwards. We're going to bring this foot into the inner thigh. Align, centre, lengthen the spine, and then just slide the hands down. See if we can breathe the belly button towards the thigh here. Just keep breathing, keep lengthening. And this is great if you've got tight hamstrings to do one leg at a time rather than the double, which is both legs, which we are going to do in just a moment. And then let's very slowly come back up into Baddha Konasana, our butterfly. And we'll just take a little rock. Maybe just ease yourself forward here. Find space there in the hips. And then let's change sides, so extend the opposite leg. Both sit bones grounded down here. Make sure there's no tension creeping in through the shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out and take it forwards. Breathe the belly button to the thigh, keep getting nice and long through the spine. If you are really inflexible here and this feels quite uncomfortable, then get a yoga strap or a scarf or a towel, just wrap it round. Let me think, I've got my sock. This is how easy it is. I literally just pull my sock from there. You can pull it here. You can either point or flex that foot. And this just gives you a little bit of help. So you don't even need to buy fancy props. You can if you want. But you can do it with anything at all. Okay, slowly bring it back up, and then we'll go into a full-legged forward, seated forward fold. So it's your double leg stretch. I'm going to point and flex. Lift off those sit bones, stand tall, or sit tall, and then exhale, ascend it forwards. Breathe. Always, always, always come back to the breath. Tent for tension, a busy mind, resistance in the body. You take a deep breath and it solves 1,000,001 things. Okay, slowly come back in. We're just going to come to Sukhasana pose, which is known as easy cross-legged pose. But some of you might not be finding this easy right now to sit this way if you are a complete beginner, if you've had any problems with the hips. So I want you to just find a comfortable position now on your mat. I'm going to bring the fingers down to the mat. With energy in the fingertips, press down and lengthen the spine. I'm going to look to the left. Breathe in and out, looking to the right. Let's do this a couple of times. The more full and deep we get the breath, the more energy, the more space we find in the body. And the more centered we are. When you come back to center, we're going to take the arms all the way back into a prayer position. Soften the shoulders, open up through the chest. Breathe. And let it go. Relax the body, don't allow tension to creep in. Just remain present in your practice. And when we start to calm that busy mind with our breath, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system. which basically takes us out of that fight or flight state that the body is in with, high cortisol levels, stress levels. It brings us back into this present moment where there needs to be no worry, doubt, fear, stress, simply ourselves and our breath in this moment. So with every breath, I want you to think about that. Just release the arms down. We're going to cross them this way into eagle arms. So we just bring one elbow on top. So let's say our left elbow over and the hands come together. Just take a little shift here with the shoulders, the upper body. We're going to release all that tension here. Let's lift the arms. Feel that length through the spine, through the neck. Let's take the arms all the way up and then exhale and open them into cactus arms. I'm going to do this 3 more times. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. In this. So back into eagle arms. Just feeling that. You might feel more tightness or it might feel a little bit more easy. Just depends where you're holding the tightness in the body. We'll lift the arms up. Take them all the way up for a release. And open back into cactus arms and then release them back. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. Take the arms all the way up and then exhale through cactus arms. I want you to take it across now as though you're taking off a sweater. As you take off the sweater, take off those layers of stress, worry, anxiety, doubt, and place them behind you. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to do that one more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Just going to press the hands into the floor. Move around the shoulders and just drop the head back. Slowly come back into center. Wiggle around the fingers. Circle the wrists in both directions. We'll take it all the way up, just feeling that freedom through the body. And now let's bring them all the way down, sliding the arms forwards. And then we're going to walk them over to the corner, to that diagonal position. Keep those sit bones pressed down into the mat. And then let's walk it over to the other side. Bring it back to center. Slowly come back in. Let's roll the shoulders back and forwards. We're just going to bring the knees in here, feet down, and let's drop the knees from left to right. Breathe and allow that freedom of movement, space in. And then we're just going to come down onto our back. Bring the knees, hug the knees into the chest. And take a little rock, left to right. And just allow the feet to settle in the earth. So feeling that connection here of the feet and the hips and the shoulders. The arms will just fall out to the side. And just breathe. And then we'll just glide the arms down as we breathe out. We're going to push up into our bridge, and if you can, lace the fingers together. And then very slowly peel back down. Bring the feet into a butterfly, Baddha Konasana posture, soles of the feet together. And open the palms up to receive that positive energy into the body, into the mind. Allow anything that comes your way to be open to what you may receive from the practice. Slowly bring the legs back in. And let's take them over onto our side. And then slowly come back up to centre. And let's just circle around. Nice and slowly, just feel the energy moving through the body. So emotion equals energy in motion. So this tension, tightness, emotion, anything that's stored in the body has to come out somehow. The energy has to be released. So if we're not releasing it through yoga or some form of exercise, it will come out in other areas, whether it's, I'm going to keep on doing this, whether it's, anger, stress, feeling upset, feeling a lot of fear. We've got to keep it moving, we've got to release it from the body, and I think yoga is a perfect way to do that, because we are fully present and aligned with the mind and the body. And let's just come back to our centre, come back to that seated posture. Take a deep breath in, take the arms all the way up towards the sky. Breathe out, bring the hands into the heart centre. And let's take one more deep breath in. And out. And let it all go. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. If that was your first ever yoga practice, then amazing, you made it all the way to the end. And it's just a tiny snippet of what you're about to experience as you embark on and get into your yoga journey. Thank you all so much for joining me. Lots of love and light. Namaste.